All right, guys, I'm going to talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but before I do that, let's just address all of the predictable drones that come into the comment section with comments like, you haven't even seen the movie yet, look at you getting all upset, what you big mad, all these people that always want to attack me personally, not just me, but just about every creator goes through this. If you say how you feel about something, people are going to swear to God that you don't have the right to say how you feel. Okay, so let me just say from the very beginning, from the gate, I am commenting and giving my views on a trailer. Okay, it's so simple. I don't understand why so many people have such a hard time grasping that. I'm giving my opinion on the trailer. This is not my opinion on the movie because, as a lot of you would like to keep reminding me, the movie isn't even out yet. No shit, okay? I'm giving my opinion on the trailer, not the movie. The movie could go on to be a classic, okay? But based on what I've seen of the trailer, I'm going to give my opinion on the trailer. Okay, shall we begin? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Try not to get butthurt, guys, because I am not enthused by what I saw in this Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. I think it's safe to say that I'm over this. I've probably been over it for a while. Guys, I am the biggest, well, not the biggest, because I don't know all the lore and all that stuff. There are people out there who know Spider-Man and these characters and everything like an encyclopedia. That's not me. But I really, really loved the character when I was growing up. I felt like I could relate to Peter Parker. He's black. Oh my God. But yes, I could relate to Peter Parker. I could relate to the freedom that he must have felt when he was able to retreat from all of the inner problems that he was having to become Spider-Man, and just live this alternate, life, and everything, even though he was very much burdened by the memory of his Uncle Ben, which doesn't get mentioned very often at all with this interpretation of Spider-Man, which is one of the many problems I have with this particular interpretation of Spider-Man. And judging by this trailer, it seems like it's going to be more of the same. First of all, I'm going to start off with saying, are we done with the home stuff in the titles? It's like Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Home on the Range, Spider-Man There's No Place Like Home. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, enough. Why do they insist on using gimmicks? Spider-Man is one of the most beloved, most enduring characters in the Marvel universe. You know what I mean? And he stands very well on his own. Why they continue to put Spider-Man / Peter Parker in an ensemble type of situation where he's very much leaning on first Iron Man, Tony Stark. Now he seems to be leaning on Doctor Strange. When have we ever seen Spider-Man be Spider-Man? He's Spider-Boy at best. People have called him Iron Boy, and for good reason. There are certain things that are trademarks of Peter Parker, and he can be arrogant, in his alter ego. Peter Parker, puny Parker, is one thing. But like I said, when he becomes Spider-Man, he's just a little bit more. He's a little bit more confident. He's a little bit more of a smart ass, an asshole. He can be all of those things. So I don't like the, chasing around Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark, Mr. Strange. Can I call you Steven? It's just like, bro. Usually, the Spider-Man that I know would be on some, I need your help, Strange, and he's not so much playing a boy because he's Spider-Man. Even when he was younger, he still tried to step up into the role of a alpha male, but that's not what we get with this whiny guy. He's a whiny, puny Parker, and then he goes on to be a whiny, puny Spider-Man. Okay, of course he's got a fighting spirit. He's Spider-Man, okay? So I'm not just saying that he's a weakling or anything like that, but, he doesn't have the strength of character, that the character is supposed to have, traditionally speaking, So, the trailer, it starts off with him and MJ, on top of a building, they're getting closer in their relationship and stuff. Everything's all good. But the premise of the movie seems to be that now that his cover has been blown and the whole world knows who he is, it's making it hard for him to live his life. It's making it hard for him to keep the people that he loves safe. And I guess that's the premise. He wants to try to undo what has been done. Okay, so I don't know how he's any better than Thanos. You got to keep in mind, they just came back from the snap. and they're trying to get their lives together. Now this kid wants to manipulate the world even more to suit him. Okay, he's been outed, but does that give him the right to say, now I'm gonna wipe everybody's minds clean? You know, it's bad enough they've been manipulated, you know, thus far, you know, where families have been disrupted, memories have been disrupted, but he's going to go on to do the same thing. And I guess this is supposed to be, you know, acceptable. And then you have Doctor Strange here, and he's supposed to have a certain degree of wisdom, but it seems by the trailer that he's indulging Peter's wish to manipulate the whole world into forgetting that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You know, and by the way, by the whole world knowing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, on a movie level, it seems that we're being set up to watch a movie of more Peter Parker than Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if he spends more time in this movie as Peter Parker than he does in the actual costume being Spider-Man. I could see maybe at the end they'll do all that cool stuff that they showed in the trailer. And you know, don't get me wrong, it was cool. You saw a lot of excitement. You saw a lot of special effects, you know, looking like Inception there, cities turning upside down and everything. And then you saw the hint of the Green Goblin. You saw one of his exploding pumpkin bombs or whatever. And then you saw, of course, Alfred Molina returning as Doc Ock, which is kind of implying that maybe, just maybe, we will see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man as well as Andrew Garfield, which to me were superior Spider-Man just because they had their finger on the character, you know, a little bit more than what Tom Holland does. And this is no disrespect to Tom Holland. He does a fine job. I've always said I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him as an actor. I don't like the world that they built around him. I don't like young Aunt May, even though I love Marissa Tomei. I mean, I really do. I've loved her since way back in A Different World, you know what I mean? In My Cousin Vinny. So you can't tell me nothing about that. I'm just saying, as Aunt May, I don't like the way that works because Peter Parker is supposed to be burdened. You know, he's supposed to be burdened by the fact that he let Uncle Ben's killer go, which ended up putting him and his aunt to hardship. His aunt's supposed to be frail. You know, there's supposed to be a sense of solitude that Spider-Man feels, like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders and everything. And, you know, that's not in this particular interpretation of Spider-Man here. Like I said before, he's not that isolated thing. Like, I feel like Tobey Maguire probably put that across the best. You know, when he's like in his you know, busted up apartment and he's estranged from Mary Jane and he's just sitting there and he's just waiting for the next call, you know, so he can just retreat into Spider-Man, you know, so he can go out and make himself useful, you know, and feel like there's purpose in his life and everything. We don't really have that with this kid, you know. You know, he's got the iron spider suit and everything. This is just not that character. Not to say that I don't understand where people are drawn to it or enjoying it, but just somebody who's been reading it since, you know, ever since I picked up the reprints of the Ditko years, the Stan Lee Ditko years, I really enjoyed this character and the ups and downs that he goes through and the character building. You know, the deep down character building that goes on with this character. Like I said, it's something that I could always relate to. There have been times when I felt like nobody in the world understood me and nobody wanted to understand me. Nobody was ever going to understand me, you know, and I had to find how to, you know, find my way and walk my walk and hold my head up high in a world that I really felt I had no place in, you know. So every time they used to show those storyboards where Peter Parker is walking, you see that lonely shadow, you know, and he's got the half Spider-Man face because only he knows what he's having to carry. Like, that's not being presented in these movies. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I just see more of the same. You know, I see more of that MCU Spider-Man that's just not deep enough, man. Is it going to have the action and adventure and the chills and everything? I'm sure it is. You know, I'm sure it's going to be somewhat enjoyable, but I just don't see a whole lot here, guys. I don't see a whole lot to feel excited about. I know my son is going to want to go see it, so sure, I'm going to want to see it with him. And, you know, for my son's part, you know, he loves Tobey Maguire and he loves Andrew Garfield. He feels that both of them are superior to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Even though Tom Holland's Spider-Man is the Spider-Man for his generation, what can I say? You know, he loves the, you know, the older stuff. So, like I said, guys, this is just my initial feelings about what I saw in that trailer, okay? Not the movie, but the trailer, okay? So all of the predictable comments about we gotta wait and see. You don't even know. You know, guys, come on, bro, stop. It's like the predictability, like I said before, is just becoming boring at this point. Let's just have a conversation. Remember we used to have that, you know, and just talk about how we feel about this or that, you know? So maybe it might surprise me, I don't know. But based on what I saw in this trailer, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of excitement going on about this. So, guys, what did you think about this trailer? Yes, it looked exciting. It was loud, you know, the music, all that stuff. You know, the thought of seeing the older characters and stuff is definitely something. But, you know, let me know how you guys felt about it. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, and catch me on Twitter. And, guys, remember, if you're watching this on Tuesday, you can catch me on the Dark Council, which will be on Brother Dmajini's channel with Fatal J, with Drunk 3PO, Abu Nas, Lord Callus, myself. We come to throw down. So check us out, 8:30 Eastern, Dmajini's channel this week. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.